My name is Carlos Lima, and in this presentation, we'll be talking about Patagonia, an American clothing company founded in 1973 in Ventura, California. For almost 40 years, Patagonia has branded themselves as an environmentally friendly company who are in the business of selling comfortable outdoor wear that will last a long time and made from reusable resources, as well as a company committed to clean, limited waste, cruelty-free manufacturing. They've built an incredible network of grassroots environmental organizations that they've supported through financial commitments. As their marketing motto goes, we're in business to save our home planet. Patagonia frequently is igniting change and aligns themselves with individuals who care about the planet's long-term sustainability. Through Patagonia Action Works, their environmental group initiative, they invest and take action to protect people as well as our vulnerable planet. Patagonia also as a company taxes themselves an earth tax, a 1% tax for the planet, which provides support to environmental nonprofits working to defend the planet's air, land, and water resources across the globe. Patagonia has also linked themselves with athletes to support the planet activism through global sports activists who use their roles in the sports world to drive positive environmental and social change to our planet. Through Patagonia Action Works, Patagonia connects individuals working on environmental issues in the same area that they're located in. An individual can find events, sign petitions, donate, or become a volunteer for an environmentally friendly organization. Since 1985, Patagonia has given over $100 million to organizations that they fought issues in the areas of land, water, climate, and biodiversity. Patagonia Action Works has over 1,000 environmental groups looking to make change one step at a time in every community and has over 10 million loyalists, their term for individuals within environmental groups. Patagonia Action Works' success can be attributed to the millions of people who want to bring change to our planet but have no idea where to start. Through Patagonia Action Works, it's now possible for anyone to discover and connect with environmental action groups and get involved in something that they believe in. For more information, please visit Patagonia website /actionworks to help get involved in local environmentally friendly projects around your community. It's a brand, it's a movement. Patagonia Action Works.
Hi, my name is Abba Palacios, and I'm here to tell you about the history of Patagonia. Patagonia was founded by Yvon Chouinard, who was born November 9, 1938 in Lewiston, Maine. In 1953, Chouinard was a member of the Southern California Falconry Club. Don Prentice taught the young boy how to rappel down from the cliffs to the Falcon Aeries, sparking a long-life love for rock climbing in Yvon. As he continued his passion for rock climbing, he met a young climber called Tom Frost, who would later become his partner. In 1957, Yvon became a self-taught blacksmith. Chouinard made his first pitons from an old harvest blade and tried them out with TMI Herbert while rock climbing in Yosemite. As his friends heard about his chrome molybdenum steel pitons, they felt they had to have one, and without even knowing, his business has started. Yvon would forge 2 pitons in an hour and sell at $1.50 each. Yvon built a small studio in his parents' backyard in Burbank, but most of his tools were portable since he was always on the go. He mostly supported himself with the gear that he sold from the back of his car. The profits were slim, but in 1964, Yvon went into a partnership with Tom Frost, and together they made Chouinard Equipments. In 9 years they worked together. They redesigned and improved almost every climbing tool, making them stronger, lighter, simpler, and more functional. By 1970, they became the largest suppliers of climbing hardware in the United States. But there was a downside to this. They had become an environmental villain because their gear was damaging the rocks. Repeat hammering of the pitons during both placement and removal had disfigured the rock severely. So Chouinard and Frost decided to minimize their piton business, thus moving towards their first big environmental step they would take over the years. They did find an alternative. They made aluminum chokes they could wedge in by hand instead of using hammers. These first came out in their first ever Chouinard Equipment's catalog in 1972. In this catalog, they would go forward and publish a 14-page essay by Sierra climber Doug Robbins on how to use the chokes, paving the way for future environmental essays in Patagonia's catalog. The chokes were a hit and they sold out fast, but the company was quickly growing. In 1970, while on a trip to Scotland, Jovan Chouinard bought a regulation team rugby shirt to wear while rock climbing. When he got back to the States, he started using it. Rugby shirts were made to withstand the roughness of the sport. And if you have seen them before, the shirts have a collar, which Jovan liked because it would keep the hardware from slicing and cutting his neck while rock climbing. Jovan's friends saw this. They wanted one too, same as the tons. This opened up big doors for Chouinard Equipments. It paved the way for them to become the clothing store that they are today. All this is important because back when Patagonia was Chouinard Equipments, they saw the damage they were doing to the environment and they decided to change. Still to this day, that is true. Patagonia is one of the biggest companies that is always looking towards how they could help the environment and also cautious about whatever they do it in a way to help and not damage the environment more than it is already. Thank you for taking your time to listen to me today, and I hope you enjoyed learning about Patagonia's history.
Hi, my name is Emily, and I will be explaining Patagonia's future plans and goals for sustainability. Patagonia wants to eliminate all of their carbon emissions by 2025, and have even embraced a process for how they'll do so. Each part of this plan involves the help of others to help keep their carbon footprint at zero as their company continues to grow. Particularly, they want to become full-on carbon positive. So let's start with Patagonia's future plans. In regards to our world's current climate crisis, Patagonia is constantly making efforts towards using 100% renewable and recycled raw materials. In fact, 68% of their clothing lines already use recycled materials, but they are still working to increase that percentage. Since 1985, Patagonia has pledged 1% of all their sales to the preservation and restoration of the natural environment. Since then, they've awarded $89 million in cash and donations to domestic and international grassroots environmental groups that make a difference within their local communities. In 2002, founder of Patagonia, Jovan Chouinard and Craig Matthews, owner of Blue Ribbon Flies, created a nonprofit corporation to encourage other businesses to do the same, and are still encouraging other businesses to this day. By contributing 1% of total annual sales to grassroots environmental groups, members of 1% for the Planet affect real change. This also goes with investments in other carbon capture projects like reforestation all across the globe. So, in terms of Patagonia's future goals, their overall goal is to be carbon neutral by 2025. As Chouinard would say, Patagonia strives to take more carbon out of the atmosphere than we put in. This also means that they will only use renewable or recycled materials in their products by 2025 as well. Their goal is to also grow their Worn Wear program, which will make it a business unit that supports initiatives that encourage reuse, repair, and recycling to extend the life of products and reduce their environmental footprint. In all, Patagonia will double down on grassroots climate action and their overall support of nonprofits fighting to protect our planet.
Hi guys, this is Rodrigo. So for my part, I want to talk to you about the benefits that Patagonia has gained from being sustainable. Patagonia has not only tried to work with small corporations to improve our nature, but it has also dedicated its time, money, and effort to help improve our society. Patagonia has actually partner up with sport brands to spread positivity among small minority groups, because Patagonia knows that at the end of the day, everyone deserves to be equal and treated equal. Not only that, going back to the nature points, Patagonia has this 1% tax of itself, and that 1% is sent to projects and missions to improve our ecosystem. As you can see, Patagonia not only is helping our society, but it's also improving the way we live on our daily basis. If you think about it, the amount of objects Patagonia recycles, it's also material that Patagonia it doesn't have to spend money on. Therefore, Patagonia is recycling, reducing, and reutilizing items that they didn't have before. Having that in mind, not only it's economically beneficial for Patagonia to recycle, but it also improves our environment. In addition to this, Patagonia tries to connect with environmental groups in which Patagonia donates a small percentage of their income for those groups to improve the quality of certain aspects. For example, they work on finding ways to improve air conditions. They try to work with farmings and other stuff among this. Patagonia, when you think about it, it's not just a brand of clothes. It's also a way to contribute to our ecosystem. Patagonia, a job is to make us look fashionable while saving the world. Thank you guys for paying attention.
Hello, I'm Victor Perez, and I'll be talking about the challenges and drawbacks Patagonia faces as it accomplishes its sustainability path. On the environmental level, it's no brainer that environmentally damaging projects like dam building, hatcheries, trail creations, and deforestations are the very actions Patagonia fights against in its environmental quest. It works to mitigate these actions on a small scale and refuses to fund any project of the sort. Patagonia also tries to ensure the safety and the environmental well-being of underrepresented groups globally. To protect the environment also means making sure the area is suitable for people to live in, especially those who may end up being discriminated against or forgotten. Finally, as Patagonia hopes to increase awareness and fund projects and other organizations, it pushes other companies to join 1% for the Planet, an organization founded by the owner of Patagonia, where 1% of profits of the companies that join, like Patagonia, go to projects and organizations that do work to preserve the environment. On the social scale, there are notable drawbacks in how Patagonia interacts with both the political world and educational world. For starters, Patagonia tries to remain as neutral as possible, distancing itself from political campaigns. While recently Patagonia has shifted in the stance by supporting 2 candidates for Congress, this is mostly due to their stances on public lands and animosity to the current government administration. Overall, Patagonia has remained neutral, not endorsing and funding others in political campaigns, and tries not to lean in any direction, even when it's obvious. Patagonia also has an issue in always doing and not stopping. Patagonia is notable for funding action-oriented projects and not research or any educational teachings. While the goal of always doing is admirable, it is also clear that this direction leaves less exposure or innovations on the part of the company. Whether the company could use its profits to fund education lectures or find new ways to preserve the environment, it will not be known. Finally, there's the internal struggle the company has to deal with. Although the company makes massive amounts in revenue at $1 billion, a lot of its work is directed in helping local communities rather than massive global projects. It also funds 1 project per year, giving a grant between $5,000 to $20,000. While this keeps to the spirit and values of the company of being small and more deep-rooted to areas rather than expanding, it is quite telling just how little it wants to be part of the center stage, which may need its presence on it. Then there's the good ethical treatment and standards the company performs. While it is always good to see company care for its employees and make working suitable for all walks of life, no good deed goes unpunished. Its standards will most definitely hinder the effectiveness and output of the company, unlike those like Amazon that pushes their employees to be as effective as possible, no matter the bathroom cost. Yet despite all these challenges and drawbacks, Patagonia remains dedicated to its goals since the first day it was founded.